The discovery of the absolutely intact tomb of Tutankhamun is the greatest event in the history of mankind, as if the higher power itself protected it for us in order to reveal to us the secret of Pharaoh Tutankhamun as the culprit of the exodus of the Jews from Egypt. Tutankhamun was the last legitimate pharaoh of the 18th dynasty. He came to the throne after the period of Akhenaten and restored the priests of Amun to the influence and power they had held before Akhenaten's religious and political revolution. Tutankhamun was a famous pharaoh in restoring and harmonizing Egypt after the period of Akhenaten. But due to his short reign and the usurpation of his few monuments by the pharaohs of the 19th dynasty, this was not known in ancient times. The data on his reign are brief. It is known that he was crowned pharaoh between the ages of 8 and 10. The accession to the throne was legitimized by his marriage to Princess Ankhesenparten, the only surviving daughter of Akhenaten and Nefertiti, and therefore the bearer of true legitimacy, who also changed her name to Ankhesenamun when the cult of Amun was restored. The abandonment of Akhenaten's capital, Akhetaten, began as soon as Tutankhamun ascended to the throne. However, the abandonment of the city was not sudden, but was gradually moved various state institutions, such as the treasury, royal residences, archives, etc. Tutankhamun and his wife Ankhesenamun must have had 2 daughters who were stillborn, as 2 small coffins containing 2 female fetuses were found in the king's tomb, one at 5 months of pregnancy, and the other must have died at birth. This is only one of 5 reasons why Tutankhamun can be identified as the pharaoh of the Exodus. Examination of the skeleton and reconstruction of the pharaoh's appearance showed that the young man was clearly very unhealthy. He had a cleft palate, long, unsightly protruding teeth, and a severely deformed left leg that prevented him from moving normally. 130 canes were found in his tomb, all made of ebony, ivory, silver and gold, including a simple cane with gold stripes bearing the inscription, "A cane that His Majesty cut with his own hands." Tutankhamun died at the age of 19 and was laid to rest in a tomb in the Valley of the Kings. The cause of the pharaoh's death was injuries to the skull and limbs, a leg injury that led to infection, and gangrene, which were the result of falling from a chariot. Since Pharaoh Akhenaten had undertaken a grand religious reform and the construction of a new capital, he was completely absorbed in his reforms, and state affairs were neglected. Because of this, the rich state treasury that he had inherited was depleted, and by the end of his reign was almost empty, which led the country to economic decline and collapse. After his death, the decline continued since his heirs were unable to govern the country. The situation was further aggravated by the fact that the old elite was clearly sabotaging the country, and with the accession of the 10-year-old pharaoh, Tutankhamun, the situation in the country worsened with each passing year. The length of his reign is estimated at 9 years, and for most of this period, he ruled with the help of guardians. In the 5th year of his reign, the young pharaoh moved the capital to Thebes. It is from this period that the persecution and oppression of the Jews as the former elite of Akhenaten should be considered to have begun. My book presents several facts proving that the events described in the Book of Torah as the Exodus took place precisely during the reign of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. Details in my book